Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I had a special request that I didn't even think about when I was doing my How to ARTY series, so I figured I'd make a standalone video and I would post it during the series is still going on. Alright, so the request that I got was to do a video talking about equipment and perks that you run on your ARTY. Alright, now this can vary depending on the ARTY, but there are always going to be two that are must-haves. Let's go into equipment real quick. And here's what I'm running. I'm running improved ventilation, large caliber artillery shell rammer, and enhanced gun laying drive. Alright, the two guarantees for any ARTY have to be a rammer and GLD, gun laying drive. This allows you to aim in faster, and this allows you to load faster. Guarantee, must have, no questions asked, put them on. Alright, so that leaves one extra piece of equipment. Now, this can be changed depending on your ARTY. If you're running a 55 or a Bat Chat ARTY, they're enclosed. By being enclosed, you can run vents. Alright, if your tank's an open top, guess what? You can't run vents. Why? Because it's open. Common sense. But because the Bat Chat ARTY and the M55 are both completely enclosed, you can run vents. I believe there's a couple others of the British line. I think. I don't remember exactly. I think the gun carriage, the Tier 9 and the Tier 8 are all completely enclosed. It might be the entire line. I don't remember. I don't think the Crusader, because I think it's open. Burt, I think you can. But either way, so definitely need improved ventilation. Now, if you're running an open top like T92 or pretty much any other ARTY, then there are other options you can use. All right, you can use binos, coated optics, or camouflage net. The rest of it, spall liner, that's not going to do you any good because generally speaking, one shot, especially HE on a thinly armored target, you're dead. So don't waste your money on a spall liner. Wet ammo rack, again, generally speaking, one shot you're dead even without them hitting your ammo rack, so don't worry about it. Fill tanks with CO2, again, don't waste your money. Enhanced torsion bars. That can be a possibility if you ram a lot of people. Generally speaking, probably not going to get that. So that pretty much leaves the coated optics, binos, and camouflage. Alright. So let's say you're in a big, heavy, lumbering artillery piece that doesn't like to move. Like your Russian lines, your German lines, and the T92 of the American line. All of those tanks don't like to move. So you'll want to use Camel Net, most likely. That gives you a less chance of being spotted, and it is very effective. Now the one drawback is, most of those tanks that are that slow and that, that need a camo net are not a turreted vehicle. So you're going to end up constantly nudging your tank back and forth to get a shot on people. What does that do? That breaks your camo net. So I'll leave that to you whether you want to do it or not. It's one of the cheaper, it is the cheapest option of equipment you can put on. But it seems to me like if you're actually zooming in on people, it's not working most of the time. So kind of a waste if you can't get anything else. Same with binos. And yes, they do come in handy occasionally. But it's very, very specific on different areas, different maps. Most of the time when you're in an ARTY, you're in a spot, if you've learned your fundamentals, you're in a spot where you're not going to be spotted until you can spot them as well. So I honestly don't see the reason of using binos on your ARTY, and the same thing goes with the Camel Net. It's got the same exact problem. You have to be stationary for, I think it's 5 seconds before they even kick on. Most of the time in most ARTYs you're going to be moving back and forth and stuff, so you're not going to actually ever get your binos up until you're shooting at something. Okay, well, what happens when you fire that giant gun? Guess what? Your camo and binos reset because your tank just moved from the recoil of your own weapon. Alright? And then that leaves coated optics. Now, coated optics is a possibility for ARTY if you've not got anything else to put on it. If you already got your gun rammer, you've already got your GLD, and there's nothing else you could put, coated optics would be the way to go because it's a 10% boost to your view range. ARTYs have some of the worst view ranges in the game, believe it or not. What we do have is some of the best radio range in the game because if you spot somebody anywhere on the map, generally speaking, we can hit them. So coated optics would be the way that I would go personally if I needed to put an extra piece of equipment on the tank or on my ARTY and I couldn't do like one of the other three that I've got. And the reason being, it's a 10% all the time. There's no it drops out or it drops in. There's no waiting for it. It's always a 10% increase. Is that worth 500,000 silver? I don't know. A 10% increase if you've got a 350 meter view range is only going to be 35 more. So that would take you from a 350 meter view range to a 385 meter view range. Is that worth it? Could be. It depends on the map. If you're on a wide open map, maybe. But generally speaking, most of the maps aren't wide open, so you're going to be able to spot them even without coated optics right around the same time they spot you. Because even though they have a better view range, they're moving and you're stationary most likely, and you will have a better camo rating. Unless you're in a ginormous ARTY. The M50, I don't remember the camo ratings for the M55. Let me see if we got it here. So it's a 17 for the M55, and it goes really bad if you fire that 8-inch gun, which makes sense. So I mean, I've had the T92, and the T92's concealment is better than the M55. It is a 22 instead of 17. And that comes down to the fact that the M55 is actually, I think, a bigger tank. That little house it's got on top of it is monstrous. The weird thing is the T92, because it's tier 10 ARTY, has more hit points. So, you know, that's just weird. I don't know why they do it. Honestly, I think the M55 should be the tier 10 and the T92 should be the tier 9. I get it, the T92 gets a bigger gun, but at the same time the M55 is so much better than the T92 on every level, with the exception of a direct hit that honestly the M55 should be probably a tier 10. Now on the Russian line, I got all the way up to tier 7, I think. Yeah, so tier 7 I got up to on the Russian line. Didn't like playing with battle barges. They're open tops. They've got good guns, but they tend to be inaccurate, and they're just slow, lumbering tanks that just drive me crazy. You guys know this by now. Have not played the German tank or the German ARTY line. I've thought about it a few times. I might do it someday, but right now, you know, I found the ARTY that I want to play all the time. I'm up to tier 8, I believe, in the British line. Yep, see, I've already unlocked that. I've played it. It's fun. I have a couple of videos. It's just, again, it's so slow. It is nice having that extra trajectory on your shots, though. I'm used to using the 8-inch gun, and it has it's not a straight firing line, but it is a lot straighter than a mortar does on those British lines. French artillery, honestly, this is the worst grind of artillery you're going to have up until Tier 9. Okay? Tier 9 is still pretty rough, I'm not going to lie. Yes, you get a full rotating 360 degree turret, but that 155 millimeter gun is so bad. And it's the same thing on the M53, which is the 155 millimeter gun on the M55. Well, that's why they call it the M53 M55. It's actually two variants of the same tank. The M53 had the 155 millimeter cannon. The M55 had the 8-inch gun. So that's why you see two numbers on some of these tanks, and it's the same for the 4043. It's just two different variants of the gun. Usually two different branches of service. But anyway, so the French line is hands down the worst ARTY line to go down. The payoff comes at Tier 10 when you get a 4-round autoloader, which is insane in an ARTY. I mean, think about it. You track a guy and you're able to hit him and hit him and hit him. So think that would be awesome. Hence the reason I'm going down it, and I need 115,000 more XP. China don't have it, Japanese don't have it, so we're back to the American. Alright, so there we talked about the equipment, so let's go over to our perks. Now, I have a lot of perks on my ARTY, but I've played over 2,200 games in it, so keep that in mind. Alright, I'm currently training Snapshot on my ARTY, so that should tell you everything you need to know. So there are a few perks, and the first few perks are guaranteed right off the bat that you need to get. 6th Sense. Number 1. Get 6th Sense first. Knowing when you're detected before you're detected is an amazing perk. Alright? It saves your butt more often than not, because you hear that little ping and you know to immediately turn and look and figure out what's going on. Alright? The second one I would get would be Camouflage. Reduces your vehicle visibility. I've had this tank with a 17 visibility and no Camo Net parked in a bush on Fisherman's Bay and had a bat chat get within 20 feet of me before he spotted me. So Camouflage, get it. Okay, so that's your number 2 perk. Alright, the rest of these are pretty normal. Situational Awareness, and what was the other one? I think it's Situational Awareness, not Intuition. Recon. Recon and Situational Awareness are your next two. Those get you the ability to spot things at further distance. So definitely make sure you're getting those, because you want to be able to again see people before they get to you. Okay. Eagle Eye is fun, just for the simple fact that after you hit somebody you can see if they're tracked. Yes, you can still see it without Eagle Eye, but Eagle Eye kind of says, okay, it's orange, which means it's fixed but it's damaged. Okay, it's red, it means it's broke. So it comes in handy. If you bust a guy's gun, you can tell your teammates, hey, he can't shoot at you, kill him. You know. Situational Awareness, that extends your view range as well. Off-road driving is a perk for a mobile ARTY. The entire American line pretty much, and the French tank line, because they're kind of quicker. If your tank's not quick and you're not doing any bugging out, then you probably aren't going to need this, but it does come in handy because it allows you to go over different types of terrain without losing speed. You can go through the swamp without losing speed. You can go, you know what I mean? Green Thumb. Green Thumb is another camouflage skill, so definitely need that. Muffled shot. I don't know how effective this is on an ARTY, but your ARTY will get spotted from ridiculous range if you fire the gun and they're able to see you, because that gun takes your camo rating. Like I said, mine's like 17 concealment. If I shoot this gun, I think it goes down to like 3. So keep that in mind. This thing, if you fire the gun, it's going to be ridiculous. So muffled shot decreases the effect of firing your tanks on your camo factor. So instead of going down to 3, it might go down to 6 or something like that, which is much better, believe it or not. Because I believe the Waffentrager Hundo has like a 7 concealment with that giant house that's on its top. Clutch braking. Clutch braking comes in handy for those times when you really need to traverse to kill the guy that's chasing you. So I definitely recommend this, but it's a later perk. Get all your camo and your Sixth Sense and everything first. Pain tolerance. This is just reducing the chance of your crew members getting killed. It comes in handy. Even though my tank was specifically designed to help protect the crew, it's still a lightly armored vehicle compared to most, which means most shots pin you, most shots when they pin kill people. So it does help. Generally speaking, though, I still lose, and it's almost always the gunner. The person that I lose the most in this tank is almost always the gunner. Okay? Mentor. You can get that after your camouflage perks. That way you can start training perks faster. But like I said, I've got, I want to say it's 14 perks on this. Intuition doesn't really do much. It allows you to finish loading. If, say you're all the way loaded and you switch ammo to another ammo type to try to, you know, get that armor piercing shot or something like that. This allows that occasionally, not every single time. It's a chance. So you can change ammo, and if it dings, it'll actually just hurry up and reload that shot. Otherwise, it'll just be another full reload and you just wasted your time. And when you have a 25-second reload, it's really, really not worth it. But it does come in handy occasionally. Now, if you're not loaded and you change and it gives you the intuition, it's not going to instantly reload and go up to the... No, you're still going to wait your reload time. So, in that sense, it was burned. I bought it for the reason of thinking that it was going to instantly reload every once in a while. That was the only reason I got this perk. And I was trying to get that to happen, so I would take and reload, and you'd get the ding, and hopefully you were on the right ammo type when you got the ding, and then you'd watch it, and then it just doesn't work that way. Designated target is another one. I don't know how much good this works. It says that a marked target will be visible for 2 more seconds. But every time I've ever clicked on a tank and said attacking this tank, it doesn't seem to work. It doesn't keep them visible any longer. They tend to disappear as soon as they would have anyway. Brothers in Arms is another one of those perks that you need to get early after your camo. And this allows all of your crew and perks to be more effective, and equipment. So. And as you see, like I said, I'm really working on getting Snapshot next. I think that'll help me with those occasional rounds that derp straight into the ground when somebody's chasing you down. But yeah, so that's my crew perks and equipment video. Hopefully I helped you figure out what you want to do with your ARTYs as far as equipment. And again, it comes down to feel. You got to learn your tanks. You got to learn how to what your tank can do, what it can't do, and that just comes through playing it. So find the line that you like the most. For me, it's the Americans. Some people prefer the German. Some people prefer all these other ARTYs. I mean, it comes down to what you like, what feels good to you. You're not always going to like the same tank. A lot of people don't even like the M55. Personally, I don't know why, but they hate this. There are people out there that can't stand using the M55. They say it's just a terrible tank, and I'm like, nah, it's pretty good. But anyway, if you like my videos, punch that like button, leave a comment below. I want to do a reading your comments series before long, so leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's a button right next to my name below the video. You can't miss it. And as always, I will see you in the next video.